From somebody, how it's set up, and that will not be concerned.
John?
I just wanted to reiterate that this is not full steam ahead. We're just looking at options, the best vehicle to pursue that with. So I just want it recorded that way, that it's not a done deal, we're just looking at options.
John?
I was going to ask Lisa, if you've got the material that you presented, if you've got it in some notes, I appreciate the copy of those.
Ron?
If we're done with water for a minute, I'd like to mention one other thing that the Personnel Committee is in the process of working on. We sent out specs for bids for a personnel and pay study for the county. We received 4 bids back for prices between $17,000 and $28,000 for the overall study. The committee right now is going through those bids to make sure just how they stack up, and then we're going to sit down as a committee again and try to decide which one we want to recommend. In the meantime, there's been another development. Julia told me, and we got an email about it, that Caruso is wanting to use one of the groups that bid on our study to do their own pay study for, apparently from what I get from Julie, it's for Carroll and Boone County and Madison County only. It does not include the surrounding counties on the west side, because for some reason they think those counties aren't part of our competition area. I don't really agree with that, but I hope that we can set up a meeting with them and see if we can work together on doing this. It might save everybody some money. I don't know.
When I read that, my impression was that what they're doing is a very simplified version of what we would be engaging these groups for. They're looking at a salary comparison of people in the private sector in the 3 counties, and it's in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce in Caruso. And I wrote back to Julia and said that I thought that what we were doing has much broader implications, that we're looking to hire somebody who is going to take all of our job descriptions and all of our pay scales and analyze them in comparison to the private and public sector in the region, and come back with a pay and job description system that is very in-depth, very uniform, very consistent in its nature. So, I mean, it'd be fine to visit with them. I'm not sure that the 2 projects are necessarily tied together.
I agree with that, and I was particularly concerned that they are excluding Benton and Washington counties. Those are certainly part of our region and part of our economic area, and I don't know how, for our purposes, you can exclude those. So I don't know that it will amount to anything, but I think we should, at least a few of us, talk to them and see what they are doing, and if there's any benefits to either of us to try to work together on it, or if maybe it should just be a factor in our choosing who we want to do the study. It may save us some money if the Johansson group that they're talking about using.
It's one of the 4 that...
Yes, and it is one of the 4 that bid, and it also has one of the very low bids for us, and it's also the group that did Eureka Springs a few years ago. So it has several factors that we're considering in looking at these bids. So I think at least a couple of us need to meet with them and talk to them.
Dan?
I'd just like to thank the folks that are serving on both these committees. There's a lot of work involved, a lot of extra time. So that's great. Thank you for the hard work. And also, my wife would like to say that her car is no longer available for you.
She said it was your car.
That was hers.
Oh.
Tires on it now.
The picture was not staged. It was real. And it took every one of them to change that tire.
One last item, I mean, the judge on his choice of secretary, and Julie's been very outstanding on her work and vouching for us. Everybody, I thank her for her work.
Did you say it took them
Yes,
Oh, Liam.
I took the picture.
We couldn't do it, we had to call in one more help.
Yeah. It was quite a scene. We called DeVoe to arrange transportation back to the courthouse because we weren't sure how long it was going to take.
Anything else?
Lisa has something she's been dying to
She
say.
had 3 minutes.
Well, I just want to say for the record, I am not against rural water either. And I respect the fact that you're having a water committee to oversight and overview every aspect, because there is the Public Facility Board, the Public Water Authority, Rural Water Associations, which are nonprofit and supposedly are outdated now. So look at the broad spectrum of things before you make that final decision, because it will rest on somebody. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anything else?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
The judge has some time.
I guess we'll save it till next time.
John, it's off you now, sir.
Yeah. I'm going to move my seat.
I'd like to tell y'all and thank you that we ordered a new kennel spreader. It should be here at the end of next week. Our 2 Mack dump trucks, one of them was supposed to be here next week. We're equipping them with the panel hitch on it and air brakes back, so that you don't have to take 2 trucks out to some of the job. We can load a backhoe and a load of base or whatever to take them in, and maybe cut those trips down. We have a mini excavator we bought from Potter Equipment. It's down there now. We're waiting for some of the quick attachment changes to hook it up. We should have it probably in 2 or 3 weeks. We've ordered a new Trail King Lowboy from Caterpillar. It's supposed to be here the first week of July. We traded in the 07 International that I really hated to get rid of, but it has eaten us alive on repair bills. They rebuilt the engine twice this year. The last time in the shop, with a head gasket, the bill was still $13,000 something. They give $38,000 for it, and it belongs to them now, so we'll have no more problem with that. The old 96 International truck wore out. They gave $10,000 for it. I'll let them have it. I upgraded the bids to the triaxle truck because anymore, price of fuel and everything, you need to haul what you can haul. It should be here for long, and I thank you all for it. I also have some disappointing news this morning. Cindy called me. Someone in our county has applied for a rebate on her jail sales tax money. She don't know who it is, they won't tell her at this point, but she said for the month of April, we would receive no sales tax money for the jail, and in May it would be $7,000 a day. So I hate to bring it. Ron?
Sam, can I ask that we have our attorneys look into this and see who it is and
I'd be thankful if you would.
and what rationale or right they have to come in without any input from us or anyone else and take money out of our budget. I don't understand. I can understand what a rebate might be, but they still have to make a public application for it, so I don't know why we wouldn't know who it was or what. Can you guys
Can you
check on that?
explain to me what this means? I'm not following.
They're asking for a rebate. Apparently someone has come in and applied to Cindy, the county, for a rebate of the money they paid towards the jail tax over the past who knows how many years, based on some project or some use they're doing in the county. And I'm assuming, and Sam's assuming, he got this on a telephone conversation from Cindy. We've got no names, no information, but if they're entitled to a rebate because for some reason they don't owe that portion of the sales tax, then they can get their money back. And Cindy is already planning to take that money out of jail tax receipts and pay it back to them. Well, I don't know how we can do that. It's a non-budgeted item. Now, granted, the taxes aren't necessarily budgeted before they're received. So I don't know, but I'd like some research on it to find out who and what and where it is, so we know what we're talking about. Cindy's out of town. Sam got a phone call from her. They're talking about taking quite a bit of money. Apparently, what do our receipts run? About $10,000 a month on the jail tax.
I'm not sure of that.
No, they're more than that. I think they're like $40,000 a month. So they're talking about taking $60,000 or $70,000 out of our jail tax receipts over the next couple of months. Yeah, we get $40,000 or so a month out of jail tax, and somebody is apparently wanting a rebate for the money they've paid in over a period of time, and we don't know any more than that. We just have a phone call and no information.
Well, besides finding out who and what, I'd like to understand the mechanism that allows that
Well,
procedure.
that's what the attorneys can figure out.
And how in the world that can actually work. That's a head scratcher for me.
Well, tax rebates are not uncommon. You see tax rebates for various projects depending on the type of project. And I don't know anything about Arkansas law on it. I've seen it in other states where a company can come in and apply for a tax rebate. There's some big ones going on out on the West Coast where they're wanting millions of dollars back from counties and cities for taxes that they paid that they feel they don't know, either because of their status or because of the way the tax is worded. So we don't know enough to even discuss it now, and that's why I'm asking the attorneys to research it, find out who, what, why, how, all the usual questions. If you guys can figure that out, then we can deal with it at the next meeting before we start giving away our tax money.
Can we put a hold on
I don't know.
putting any money in?
He's going to find out soon, I hope.
Just a point of reference, March receipts on the jail tax was $126,000. And something else that shouldn't really be a burden until we get this hashed out, because we had so much of a carryover last year that couldn't be used anywhere else, so it's still there. So it's not going to put us in dire straits, but of course we all want to get it figured out and see what's going on.
Might open up other people
Well,
around for it too.
If it's the jails tax, which is the sales tax, it seems like it would apply to all sales taxes.
Yeah.
I know, and it may. We don't know enough to know. But that's the only sales tax that we get, I think, is the jail sales tax. So that's all that we would know about. It might get buried a lot harder.
You ready to make your move?
No, I defer to somebody else. I move to adjourn. Sorry.
Something like that.